Hey guys, Alex here. Thank you so much for joining me for today's full body Pilates HIIT workout. In this routine, we're going to be working through timed sets of various exercises to tone, sculpt, and define the entire body. This workout is going to bring up the heart rate and leave you feeling strong, energized, and sculpted. It includes a warm-up and a cool down. You won't need any equipment, just your mat. So let's go ahead and jump right into our warm-up. Okay, so let's start off with some nice arm circles. We're going to start breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as we circle those arms back and open through the chest, mobilizing the shoulders. And now let's switch directions, circling forward with those arms, opening up through the upper back and breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth, starting to draw energy into the body. Nicely done. Now bring the hands out in front, step to the right, looking back over right shoulder, back to center, and open arm twist to the left. As you step from side to side, look out over your shoulder, getting a rotation in the neck and through the thoracic spine. Breathing in to come to center and out to rotate. Nice work. Twist a bit further. And last one. Now from here, we're gonna go into some hip circles. So we're gonna bend into those knees and start circling the hips in one direction, really exaggerating this movement, and pause, reverse directions. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, keeping those shoulders down, bending into those knees. Nice work. Now from here, we're gonna reach from side to side, stretching and lengthening through the side body, keeping the chest nice and open here. You can bend a little bit into those knees as you reach, finding length from your hip all the way out through your fingers with every reach. Inhale to center, exhale to lengthen through those fingers. Beautiful work. And now we're gonna go into some side-to-side lunges. So taking those feet nice and wide, and we're going to bring the hands into prayer, lunge from one side and then the other. Warming up the hips, the knees, and the ankles, getting nice and low, maintaining a flat back and a lifted chest. Good, let's go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now step to the back of your mat, lift the arms up, fall forward, and then ripple up through the spine, restacking the vertebrae, and repeat. Dive forward, hang in a forward folded position, tuck your tailbone, restack the vertebrae, and lift, fall forward, lengthening through the spine, restacking the vertebrae. Let's take one more and ripple up and lower the arms. Okay, from here we're going into our timed exercises. So I'd like you to take a nice wide stance on the mat, turn your toes out, hands into prayer, and we're gonna go into some wide squats. And as we lift, we're expanding the arms into the shape of a V, lengthening through the fingers. So we're keeping the torso upright, the knees tracking wide. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. And if you want to add on, you can lift alternating heels as you raise those arms up, strengthening into the calves, reaching and lengthening. Get a little lower each time if you can. You're doing so well. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Reach up with those fingers. And last one. Beautiful. Now from here, we're going to prepare for our side steps. So I'd like you to bring the legs hip distance apart, hands into prayer once again. We're gonna bend into the knees, step to the right, and then to center. Step to the right, get low, and to center. So stepping over to the side and launching up off that right foot to bring yourself to center. So weight in that right heel as you push off, lowering and lifting. Again, the chest stays open here. Core is tight for stability. Feet stay parallel as you step from the side to parallel. Good work. Activating those glutes. Last one, and lift it up. Setting ourselves up for side squats on the left side, coming down, bending into the knees, and then stepping over to the left, and then to center. Good. Stepping to the left and to center. So bending into those knees, and then pressing up through left heel as you lift up into a standing position. So try not to arch your back here or round your spine. Keep the torso upright, the core plugged in, and the shoulders down. Inhale and exhale. Really focusing on those left glutes. Beautiful work. Okay, from here, we're going to come to the top of the mat, take the hands on the hips, plug the core in, step the right foot back, right heel lifted off the mat, pulse, pulse, and step the feet together. Step the left foot back, pulse, pulse, and to center. So switching from side to side with a double pulse, and lift. Keeping the core plugged in, it'll help with balance and stability. Really activating those thighs and glutes, challenging your stability. Good. Lower, lower, and lift. Pulse, pulse, and lift it up. Keep those shoulders down, neck long. Great work. Now we're gonna just step the right foot back, find the stability, weight in that left heel, hands come into prayer, and we're just going to lower and lift, lower and lift. So feeling the tension on the left glutes, weight in that left heel, finding that balance and stability. If you want to extend your level of challenge, you can lift the arms up for more of a balanced challenge. Keep the core tight. Feeling it in those left glutes. Lowering and lifting with control. Good. Hinge forward a little further into your lunge. Step the feet together. Step the left foot back. Find that balance and stability. Hinge slightly forward. Weight in the front heel, and now we're going to lower and lift. Make sure you can feel the work in those right glutes. So it might be that you need to move into more of an upright position. It might be that you need to hinge slightly further forward. Find that sweet spot. Bring those arms up if you want a little bit more of a challenge. Tighten the core, pulling the navel in. You're doing so well. Beautiful form. Shoulders down. Weight in that front heel. Whew, those burned. Okay, let's shake it out a little bit. And now we're gonna get into some narrow squats. So hands in prayer. We're gonna lower into a narrow squat, back is flat. We're gonna pulse with the right heel lifted for 5. And then switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Switch heels. And over onto the other side, lifting that heel, feeling the burn. Good work. Switching from side to side, elevating those heels, tightening the core, flattening the back. Get a little lower if you can. And last set. And lift it up. Circle out the arms. Take a couple of deep breaths. Amazing work. Okay, we're now going to move down onto the mat for our upper body work. So let's reach the arms overhead, fall forward, walk the hands out, coming into a high plank, shoulders above the wrists, nice broad shoulders. And now we're going to tighten the core and lower down to the mat slowly with control. So I'm going to show you this next exercise while you rest here on the mat. We're going to pull back knitting the shoulder blades together, and then pull back with every rep. So setting yourself up, gaze down on the mat. We're gonna pull those elbows back, knitting the shoulder blades together, lower, and then hover that chest as you pull back with power and energy. Contracting those shoulder blades together as you pull those elbows back, lifting the chest while keeping your gaze down on the mat. Powering up through those upper back muscles, creating a nice straight line with the spine. Think of yourself like a dart. As you pull those elbows back, you're maintaining alignment with your neck and your spine. Good. Lift a little bit higher. Beautiful work. Now from here, we're going to walk the hands out in front of the shoulders, and we'll be moving into some forearm taps here, keeping the elbows parallel. We're gonna lower the elbows, hover them above the floor, and then lift, weight in the heels of the hands. Let's go. So we're lowering and lifting, keeping the neck long, keeping the gaze down on the floor, tension in the backs of the arms, feeling those triceps heating up. Good. Pressing up through the heels of the hands, belly to spine. You're doing so well. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Keep it up. Triceps are working hard here. Great work. Now bring your wrists below your shoulders, curl your toes, and we're gonna lift up into a bear or a shin lift position. So hover those knees above the floor. We're gonna step the right leg back, step the left leg back into plank, and then both knees back into your shin lift hold. So out, out, in, out, out, in, drawing your navel in towards your spine, maintaining a flat back, powering up through those shoulders. Good work. Don't let your bum lift here. If you need to tap your knees down to the mat for a second and then pick them right back up, please do so. Out, out, in, out, out, in, out, out, in. Just stick with it. You're doing great. Good work. In, step it out, and move into a downward dog for your rest. Stretching and lengthening through the spine. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now from here, we're lowering the knees. We are lowering the chest between the hands, pushing up through the heels of the hands and piking up into a downward dog. Repeat. Lower the knees. Tricep push up, downward dog. Lower the knees, lower the chest between the hands, press up through the heels of the hands, pike up for a stretch. Good. Keeping those elbows in super close toward the side of the body, scooping the navel in as you pike those hips up. Moving at a good pace so you get a lot of reps in, but still moving with good form. Nice, lower those knees, stretch back into a child's pose. Nice deep breath, come forward, legs to parallel, lower your forearms down to the mat and get into a low plank. Lift your abdominal wall and start tapping alternating knees down toward the mat. Right, then left. Maintaining that nice flat line with the body. Keep drawing your navel up toward the ceiling. Elbows below the shoulders, powering up through those shoulders. Good work, you can do it. Holding it here for another 10 seconds. Keep breathing. Good, you've got this. Stay strong. And lower those knees down. Sweep the arms back and bring yourself into position for some tricep dips. So wrists below the shoulders, lift into your reverse tabletop. Keep those elbows pulled back behind you. As you lower and lift, you're pressing up through the heels of the hands. You're doing so well. Good. Try not to let those elbows splay out to the sides. Keeping the tension on the backs of those arms. Breathing deeply as you push up with power. Core is tight, chest is open. Stick with it. Last one, and lower the bum. Reach forward, stretching and lengthening through the back body. Cross your legs, roll over. And now we're going to go into some wide elbow push-ups. So elbows are wide, fingers are turned in, neck is long as we push the mat away. You can be in a full plank for this, or knees down on the mat, getting into those chest muscles, pressing up with power, with energy. Good. Driving up through the heels of the hands, keep those shoulders away from your ears. Neck is long. You can do this. Good. And last one. Amazing work. Circle out those arms. Okay, let's move onto the mat for our ab work. So lower down to the floor, take your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, elbows are wide, knees are bent. For this exercise, we're going to be pressing our low back into the mat as we lift up. So starting off, we're going to lift up, double crunch as we lift the right knee in toward the chest for 2, and then the left knee in toward the chest for 2, switching from side to side. And other side. Keeping those elbows wide, pressing low back into the mat as you peel head, neck, and shoulders up off the floor and double crunch, drawing the knee in toward the chest. Great work. Lift, lift, feeling those upper abs really activating. And last set. Beautiful work. Little rest here. Now we're going to bring the legs into tabletop to prepare for the next move. Deep inhale here, and as we exhale, we're going to curl and crunch up. Right leg extends, left leg extends, right leg extends, left leg extends as we hold in the crunch. Legs together, lower head, neck, and shoulders. Lift and repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Both knees to tabletop, lower head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale. Exhale to lift. Knees in, head, neck, and shoulders lower. Crunch it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and lower, and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, and lower down to the mat. Great job. Now from here, we're going to bring the right knee in toward the chest, extend the left leg out long. We're going to lift the leg, lower the leg, and switch. Let's go. Lift the leg, lower the leg, and switch. Head, neck, and shoulders can be lifted like so, or down on the mat. Good. Hugging that knee in, lifting the leg, lowering the leg, and switching. Good. Pointing through the toes. If head, neck, and shoulders are lifted, your gaze is looking out between your inner thighs, protecting your neck from strain. Good. Really lengthen through those toes. Switch on the abs as you lower and lift. If head, neck, and shoulders are straining, lower them down for a couple reps. Great job. Stick with it. And last one. And knees in toward the chest. Little rest here. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Extend one leg, stretch the other leg up, and we're going to go into our single straight leg stretch. Pulse, pulse, and switch. Pulse, pulse, the leg toward the chest, and switch. Again, head, neck, and shoulders can be lifted or down on the mat. If you need a little rest for the neck, if your neck is straining, make sure you can feel the work in those abdominals. Leg is nice and straight or has a gentle bend for a little less of a challenge. Good. Make sure the toes are pointed. Slicing those legs through the air. You're doing so well. And last one, bring the knees in toward the chest. Hands come back behind the head, interlaced. We're widening the knees to prepare, keeping the inside of the feet glued together. Widen the feet, heels pressing together as we extend and then bend. Squeeze the legs together and then widen those knees. You can add a crunch as you lift up and extend, or you can keep the head down, or for more of a challenge, you can keep head, neck, and shoulders elevated the entire time. Drive out through those heels. Bring the legs a little lower if you want more of a challenge. A little higher if you want slightly less of a challenge. You're doing so well. Stick with it. Really press out through those heels. Let's go. Last one. And knees in toward the chest. Now for this next exercise, we're going to extend the legs out. We're gonna drop one leg, then the other. So let's go. One leg drops, then the other, and then knees in toward the chest. Extend, one leg lowers, the other leg lowers, and knees in toward the chest. Good. You can keep your head, neck, and shoulders lowered or lift them up. Good. One, the other, hinging from the hip as you pull that leg back up. Good, using the lower ab strength to do so. This is a challenging one, but so effective, so stick with it. Good, 1 and 2, and bring it in, hugging those knees in close. Great work. Now we're gonna go into our crisscross. We're gonna start off with the knees bent, so hands behind the head, interlaced, elbows wide. We're crossing over, bringing alternating elbow to the outside of the knee, pressing the low back into the mat. Tightening the waistline. If you want more of a challenge, you're gonna extend one leg and then the other. Otherwise, keep those knees bent. Pick up the pace a little bit, getting deep into those obliques. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Cross over. Keep those elbows wide. Point through those toes. You've got this. And 1, and bring the knees in. Circle those knees in opposite directions for 3 and 2 and 1. Roll up to a seated position. Switching up our position here to work the glutes and thighs, we're gonna come to the top of the mat, wrists below the shoulders, knees below the hips in an all fours position to start off with. If that's uncomfortable, you can drop down onto those forearms and give the wrists a little bit of a rest. So making sure the shoulders are nice and broad, the core is pulled in toward the spine, setting ourselves up with really good form. We're gonna flex the left foot, bend the left knee, and let's go with those knee tap push-outs. So keeping the hips square with the mat, you're driving out through left heel, squeezing the bum every time you extend that leg. Tightening through the hamstrings, keeping yourself level across the hips and across the shoulders, trying not to lean to one side, and really activating those glutes and thighs as you lengthen out and kick back through that heel. Great work. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Stick with it. Good. Push back with power and energy. And last one, point the toe, lower the leg. Now from here, we're gonna be setting ourselves up for some leg lifts. Make sure you're broad across those shoulders. Toe is pointed, and we're gonna go with those leg lifts, tightening the core, making sure that we're really stable in the trunk. We're not overextending the low back or compressing the low back as we lift. The hip bones stay facing down to the mat. We're squeezing the bum with every lift. Good work. Neck is in line with the spine, gaze is down on the mat. Keep lifting that leg. Toes are pointed, switching on all the muscles in the leg as you lift and lower. Great work. Keep pushing the mat away. Broad shoulders. And now we're gonna bend at the knee, lower the knee down for a little bit of a rest. Toes are pointed. And then we're going to lift and start pulsing that big toe up toward the ceiling. Nice and stable through the trunk. Core is tight, really important here. Pulsing it out. Squeezing that booty with every lift. You're doing so well. Stick with it. Try not to lean to one side. Imagine you're poking a hole in the ceiling with that big toe. Keep that knee elevated, keep that core tight. Don't collapse in those shoulders, you can do this. Good work. And last one, beautiful. Take the knees nice and wide and stretch back before we switch sides. Stretching and lengthening through the spine, taking a nice deep breath, and then returning to your all fours, flexing through that right heel as you kick out behind you. Power and energy, squeeze the bum, engage the hamstrings with every kick out. Good. Mind-muscle connection on those left glutes and thighs doing the work now. Stable through your torso, broad through your shoulders, tight through your core. Imagine you're kicking a door open behind you. Each kick out is very powerful and intentional. Great work. Point the toe, lower the leg for a little rest. Broaden across those shoulders. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, we're gonna lift that leg and start lowering and lifting it with glute and thigh activation. Good, lengthening out through that big toe. Remember the toes are pointed to activate all the muscles in the leg. Good work, keep lifting and lowering. Lift, squeeze the bum. Try not to lean to one side. Keep yourself really balanced here. Hips facing down to the mat. And hold, bend the knee lower. Take a breather here. Good. Stabilize yourself, core engaged, and lift that leg and start pulsing that big toe up toward the ceiling. Hips square with the floor. Try not to let your head drop here. You want your neck in line with your spine. Press up through those palms so that you're nice and elevated, not collapsing through those shoulders as you poke a hole in the ceiling with that big toe. Let's go, lift that leg. Don't let that knee drop, keep it at torso height. You can do it, keep it up. Last one, nice work. Okay, from here, roll out the shoulders. Lift yourself into a standing position. And we're going to lower down into a wide squat and punch from side to side. Knees are wide, core is tight. Pick up the pace. Punching from side to side, get a little bit lower. Good work. Tightening through the waistline as you punch from side to side. Strong, straight arms. Get a little bit lower if you can. Breathe it out, get lower. Keep those knees tracking wide. Amazing work. And for our rest, we're gonna hold. Track those knees a bit wider and just pulse here. This is our final move. Burn it out. Get a little lower. Good, lower still if you can. We're holding it here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift it up. Amazing work. From here, we're moving right into our cool down. So let's just start by lifting the arms overhead and circling them down and back, taking some nice deep breaths, shaking out those legs a little bit, breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth, settling into that feeling of pride and accomplishment for having just completed a challenging workout. Breathing deeply, lengthening through those fingers, opening through the chest. And now from here, we're going to lunge the right foot forward, step the left heel back, take the left arm overhead and pull that left elbow back, gently pushing the left hip forward. So we're stretching out the hip flexor and the back of that left arm. Breathe Breathing into those tight spots, pulling back a little further on that elbow, pressing that hip a little bit further forward, sinking into that stretch, breathing deeply, and switching sides. Right foot back, find the balance. Bend that right elbow, gently push right hip forward and pull left elbow back as we stretch and lengthen. Good. Breathing deeply, opening through the chest. Good. Stretch back a little further with that arm and release. Now, if you have some wall space, you can hold on to the wall for balance. I'm going to cross my left leg over my right and sink back into a glute stretch, sending the hips out behind. Breathing deeply, lengthening through that glute. Good, feeling that lengthening feeling. And then switching sides. Nice flat back. Stretching the right glute here. Sinking a little deeper into the stretch with every breath. Good, relaxing the body into the stretch. Cooling down. And releasing the stretch. Sweep your arms back, interlace your fingers, and extend the spine, bringing the gaze up, pressing the heels of the hands together, stretching and opening through that chest, taking some nice, deep, restorative breaths here. Good, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Pull back through those arms. And gently release. Amazing work. Thank you so much for joining me for that full body routine. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe. And if you're not yet a channel member, I encourage you to join. That way you'll get access to all of my live weekly workouts. It's a great way to stay motivated and consistent and get in the best shape of your life. So I look forward to moving again with you next time. See you again soon. Bye for now.